I just watched World Crypto Network with Vays, and the guy I've heard of the name Vays. I never remembered anything he said necessarily. But anyway, he was saying that he brought out a part about the distribution method of Ethereum, which is why I don't support Ethereum, and he brought up another point of what I've been saying, and I never thought about it this way, but this kind of adds to the possibility of speculation. But my numbers are real rough, so I'm going to go with what I just remember him saying. It said 11 million were pre-mined and given to like 3, 8, or 25 of the developers. I think it was like 25 of the developers or something, so they got a mountain of them. And then he said, and he was taking a best case scenario, like everybody is squeaky clean, and he said that well, it doesn't matter what he said. So there's 60 million available at the crowdfunding part of it. And he said, well, it's not what he said, but it's just what I'm thinking right now is, but what he said that I hadn't thought about before is the fact that they had control of all the Bitcoins coming into Ethereum at the crowdfund, which I didn't think about. And why? I don't know. Just didn't think of that far through. But how awesome if you had malintent, and you have to assume the worst about everybody just because you don't have to, and maybe that's a little bit much, but with 25 people involved in the beginning, and I don't know if the Goldman Sachs people were there yet, and I'm not saying that they're bad or whatever, but just that name attached to it causes me to be concerned and be extra cautious when you got that. One of them was a hedge fund manager on Wall Street, retired because he'd been successful, and from what I know about hedge fund managers, they're really good at maneuvering with markets. So if you've got hedge fund managers and bankers or banker types or whoever you've got involved with that, if there were any bad actors in there, they could have control of the 11 million that were pre-mined. They could have bought in at the crowdfunding, and they could have turned around and used those Bitcoins to turn around and buy the supply afterwards. It's just a concept that I had never thought about before, but this is why I don't like Ethereum, and I keep trying to point it out. And then what I said last night about I've got Ethereum on a paper wallet, and in theory I thought you could probably spend them on both blockchains, and I think they confirmed it. I may have not understood it right, but they were saying that is definitely a possibility of people to do that. I'm not going to do it just because I don't really care. And to me, it's more intriguing and fascinating just to watch. You know, that's always why I've liked this cryptocurrency stuff. You know, because I'm out here under the wild blue sky, you know, running over, you know, the great Midwest, and, you know, watching the cornfields go by. But wow. And something else I noticed, I haven't watched, I can't even remember the guy's name who was on there. I think he's the guy that did Feathercoin. I wonder whatever happened to that. But, he people that I'm watching now are, I think I'll count myself in with them, is we're kind of like the once removed. It used to be when you logged on to YouTube and listened to people who were Bitcoiners, they were the developers, and you would listen to them, and they really knew what they're talking about. Now you poor souls are listening to me, and I'm, Joe Sixpack out here trying to make a living, and I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. But part of one of the reasons why I'm posting is for the people, the developers, and the people who really do know what they're talking about, to get a common man's perspective and take on this stuff. And my take on the whole thing is, I put in a little bit of money into Ethereum just because, hey, Vitalik is a freaking stud in some ways, and in other ways, he's a young kid that don't know, right? It's just, there's just things you learn with age that you can't, I don't care how big your brain is, that you just don't know. Sometimes you need to shut your mouth, sometimes you need to wait. Those are things that, a 19-year-old kid doesn't know how to do yet. He's just like, go. He hasn't failed enough. And that's one of his biggest problems, and, it's another reason why I'm not investing in Ethereum, because I don't want to be sucked down the drain with one of his failures, But, I'm not knocking the kid. I like him, but, he's a good guy. But there's just some, wow, man, this is, got my brain going. That's what I like about it, because, like when I was in school, you'd sit around, college school, not high school. I didn't do much sitting around talking then. I did a lot of other things. But when I was in school, college, I was older too. I was like 27, 28, 29, 30, something like that when I went in their late 20s anyway. And so we would sit around and talk, do philosophy and whatnot, talk about history and theology and all kinds of stuff. But where was I going with that? Oh, that's kind of what I get from this Bitcoin space, is it challenges my mind to think again, and I like that. I love that. Just don't like writing papers and freaking out about tests and exams and finals and stuff. But I still like to think about this stuff. No, I think that's about all I got to say about this stuff. It's interesting. I will put a link down in the description. It starts at the 25-minute mark, where he starts talking about what I had just been talking about, and I just was listening to him, and I was like, wow. Because sometimes, I say things on here, and buyer beware. I'm a truck driver, okay? I'm not a computer guy. I throw things out there, maybe just to maybe spark an idea in somebody else, and maybe they'll develop it further, or go a different way. But I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there, and yeah, so take everything with a grain of salt, but he just confirmed what I was talking about last night, so